I think that sometimes people will panic and think that like if they have an idea in that time period that doesn't make the record, then it's gone forever. But that's not the case. You can just save it for the next round, especially if it's a situation like this where the next round is immediate. You know, that riff is not good. That riff that didn't make it to the current record isn't going to be languishing in the darkness for too long. Like you might be able to work on it like literally immediately for the next one.
Yeah, and that's what, that's the situation that was presented to us through the pandemic was, okay, now we're just going to continue with what we were doing. That's why the way that I look at Violence Unimagined to Chaos Horrific is it's kind of a continuation of Violence Unimagined, because we didn't do a bunch of touring and, we didn't go through the usual like 2-year touring cycle like we usually do for a record. And we were kind of just still in that mode. And it was, to me, it was a lot easier than actually like doing a bunch of touring and then we'll take like a month off. Like whenever we're done with a tour cycle, like I won't even look at a guitar for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then start listening to music that will inspire me to, start writing music again and then go from there. But like, yeah, I'd say like a good example of what you were saying about that cutoff time is like, you could watch somebody, make a painting, and if they think that they only have till the end of the week to finish it, then it's probably not going to be as good. So, I mean, if you know that you have time to make it the best painting that you could make, then why not take that time? Because a lot of music, bands that I like a lot of their, not a lot of their stuff, but some of it, when I listen to it, I think, oh man, that, that could have been a little better. Like, it sounds like they tried to rush.
They ran out of ideas. It's like, man, I know what you're talking about. Like sometimes I'd never start connecting it until recently, but like I remember hearing stuff on records sometimes where it's like that ended weird. Not weird as in like art, weird as in something's weird about the way that song ended. Like it wasn't thought through, or like this section doesn't make sense here, or like this sounds like a demo riff. And then I started to develop a theory that some of these parts, people just ran out of ideas or just ran out of time and didn't like fully flesh the ideas out, because there will be these weird parts that are not as good as everything else.
Yeah.
They're like not up to the standard of what that band is capable of.
Yeah, to me, it almost sounds like they just settled so then they could have the song on the record.
Yeah.
And that could be like those two things that you brought up. It could be a combination of both or just one, like, oh, well, we got this deadline and we have to have so many minutes worth of music contractually to have this record be accepted as a full length. And that's why you get a lot of bands that have a shitload of intros.
Yeah, it's
because they don't have a lot of material.
Yeah, it's the real life aspect, man.